when I first started listening to Mark, I was like, okay, he's reading off these charts, and I don't know whether to believe him or not. It was new to me. But after, watching and him listening to him speak, and time went by, oh, look at these trends. I learned to trust the moving averages. I learned to trust the oscillators. I learned to trust the Bollinger Bands. And then after listening to him chat, and then me doing research on my own, I was I learned the value of the chart, the value of the Bollinger Bands. Then that piece, married with the fundamentals, allowed me knowledge when to buy and then when to sell, because that's the trick. You have to be knowledgeable in the fundamentals, you have to be knowledgeable in technicals, and you have to know when to buy and when to sell. And that piece has made all the difference. I feel more empowered.
Empowered. Empowered to take control of your life, empowered to do something that makes you feel good, that enriches your life, empowered to learn more, to become an expert at something. That's what Paul's talking about. Listen closely.
I was a kind of person that would do research on stocks, specifically fundamental driven. Um, Costco, Nvidia, stocks that I would have some type of touch with, some type of knowledge of that, stock. And then I would look at the fundamentals, see what the earnings are, see what, how it behaved in the past, and also see kind of what the street is saying. I watch CNBC a lot. Um, and when I had that comfort level, I would go ahead and put money in that stock. So essentially, I call it old school, if you will, but essentially looking up the fundamentals and buying the stock when you thought it was the best time. I didn't have much technical skill on how to research the I'll say the technical charts, but I know how to do fundamentals to a certain degree. Now I feel like I was a bit naive on how I picked stocks. I mean, I think from a fundamental standpoint, I did okay, but from a technical standpoint, I was weak, and that's where I think the best of us did a lot for me. The reason I joined is I would watch YouTube and watch the different, YouTubers talking about stocks that they invested in, and Kerry's stocks were always enjoyable, and he had the same theme as I did regarding AI. So he was talking about companies that I had on my list, and it was fun to hear his perspective, compare it against my notes, and then um, make a decision. So his, I'll say, maybe charisma or excitement, his enthusiasm. I realized, oh, gee, he runs a tribe, and he has people with that same energy. So it was like, I didn't even think a group existed like that out there. Reason why I picked him, and I said, let me try it. And then I did the $20 gig, and then I realized, geez, Mark and yourself brought that whole technical point, you know, that I didn't even know existed. So that's the reason why I tried Best of Us. I like is the camaraderie of the group. Um, I'll put out an idea, sort of like this week, for as an example. I put TJ Maxx out there. Right away, uh, one of the club members, Mark, another Mark, he says, "Oh, how about Ollie's?" And I don't know if you watched any of these stocks, but they did tremendous since we chatted about them late last week, early this week. So it's that back and forth, good or bad. There's comfort working with members that are living the good and the bad. So you say, we got out of it. We got a little bit of a loss, but there's always opportunities ahead. So I'm going to call it camaraderie, whatever you want to say. Um, and then the other piece I'll say is, for me, it's brought some fun into the whole thing. It's it, Investing could be dry, could be boring, but if I put a note out and say, geez, uh, Trent, what's involved in a T bill versus a
I
CD?
found
I'll get a
Margaret
response, and it'll
and
give me more
Paul, but I can't find
information to
Z.
chew on. So, and it's fun. It's not so dry. And the other thing too is I'm going to mention is you get other ideas for investing, not just the stock market. We talk, and during the platinum call, we talk about real estate, we talk about market conditions, we talk about Bitcoin, we talk about anything under the sun that could make or break your financial portfolio. And that to me is awesome. Like in the morning, I'll get online and I'll kind of rattle some of the folks. Like I know what Margaret's doing. I see what Fire Duck's doing. I see what the other Mark's doing. Some newer folks that come on board, and if you push them a little bit, you could get a correspondence going back and forth. And to me, that makes it way more enjoyable, more engaged, and it's that kind of thing that keeps me coming back.
We've tested the Platinum program over the last 2 years, and over the last 2 years, Mark has done a phenomenal job. As Paul indicated, he learned how to use oscillators, how to use the MACD, how to use the Scholastic to tell him when to buy and when to sell. They've basically gotten to where they make about 2.5% a day, and it gives them astronomical returns. Now, there's two ways to go about it: to learn the strategy yourself and study it and do it every day, or go to someone like Mark, who's been doing it for years, who has a system, who has a platform that he works from, and then he gives you notice through alerts, through email that and on the Discord. These are the stocks that I believe are setting up for a swing trade, and then you can go forward based on that. And then as Paul was saying, you can go and check and work with other people on the Discord so that you have a community. You have almost a church of people who have a common interest to make better investment decisions. That's my goal. That's my objective for you, to give you a better life and give you a path to achieve that life. And through artificial intelligence and machine learning and the internet, we can work together to make that happen. I'm so convinced of it, I'm going to offer you, as it said, a 14-day free subscription to our Platinum program. Come, go to the Discord, get to meet Mark, get to meet Martha, the other Paul, and Paul, and Zeke, and Bob, and David, and see if it's not right for you. Could it replace your career, what you do for a day job? Yeah. Yeah, if you get that kind of return and you build a large enough investment base, it can provide you with a living. That's what life's all about: getting a skill that separates you from the rest of the world and gives you an opportunity to lead the life you want to lead. I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer. Check us out and see if we can add something to your life.